members. Amazing. So we also had the tablets, which we created to aid students to learn without data, right? So we had offline content, and then we've also then grown to this amazing software. ULesson has a team of educators, subject matter experts that work tirelessly every day, or they've been working tirelessly to come up with a content that would help kids study better, right? Our aim is we want to even eliminate the cramming system. Over time, we noticed that kids just cram to pass, but they don't have like the basic concept or knowledge of doing things. And we can check that after maybe a month of teaching a child, you ask them that same thing and they've forgotten. But ULesson coming up with a creative way, illustrations, animations, because we know that that's what children like. What you watched 1 year ago, you probably can remember it now, right? Than what you read. And we've adopted that model with education and with learning. During the course of this workshop, we'll learn how we can utilize technology to increase your revenue in your school, but we'll also be discussing how the ULesson class board can help you in your schools. Is there anything I've not covered for people that know us? Is there any part of ULesson I've not said? Is there any part of ULesson I've not said? All right. So I'm sure that now you know ULesson. So when you go out, ULesson is an educational app, right, that makes use of animations, illustrations to teach students better. Thank you very much.
Put your hands together for Boki. Yes, correct. Give it this. Oh, yeah. How about that? Is it new one? Is it new? It's profile. Go have 5%. I said, yes, just it's profile. What's the name on it? Peter. Peter. That's what we used to profile the last time. That's it. Okay, that's it. This one of it. You're going up next. Are you ready? Oh wait. So one thing. So we're streaming this. So try to not move too much away from that camera. So that's thing. You don't have to reach it, right? I guess so to the best of your ability. It's right. Yes, that one. To the best of your ability. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is another moment we've all been waiting for. I think I've said that so many times today. But yes, we're going straight into our guest speaker that is meant to speak on driving school success with technology during the summer holiday. I would want to say a few things, but I'll rather let the experts speak. So today we have a man called Peter Joan Triumphant. Put your hands together for him. He is a business development expert and education business consultant. He's currently with the London Academy Business School and an alumni of University of Port Harcourt. He's passionate about reshaping Africa by providing custom-made, usable solutions for the challenges in her education sector. So without wasting any much of your time, let us put our hands together as welcome Mr. Peter Chuan Triumphant. Put your hands together.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so we're all educators. So if we don't answer well, I'll just tell us to do. If you're happy and stand up. I hope we're ready for some. If you're happy and stand up. It's good to be here this morning. First, I want to thank you, Lesson, for having me here all the way from Port Harcourt. Can we celebrate me a little bit, please? Come on, celebrate me small. Clap for me so that my head can swell. So, it's good to be here. The work that you, Lesson, is doing is outstanding in the education space. And I don't want to focus on them. I want to focus on everyone here today, right? And we have a topic to look at. I'll try my best to do justice to the subject matter. But before I go ahead, I would like to first create some background, right? Why do I qualify to speak on this subject matter? Why do I think that I have the right? Who gave me that right to think that I can come and speak to you people? So I started my education journey as a primary school teacher in Ota in Ogun State. I did first, I taught in a very small classroom with very wonderful children. These days they say we shouldn't say stubborn children. I hope you know. So they are wonderful children. That's my way of telling you that they were stubborn anyway. So, back in Ota, primary one, I was there for a while. And then I wanted to further, so I went on to get my BSc. While I was doing that, I was working part-time as an assistant accountant. So we had that's a bigger school, had an account office where I was working, taking care of store, attending to teachers and the rest of that. Then after I was done with my education, I went on to become a school administrator for a Montessori school in Port Harcourt, big Montessori school. My boss at the time was MMI trained in London. So I was equally trained, I used to say that I'm Montessori trained, but not Montessori practicing, because we had all of those training. All of the early years classroom had, all the 5 languages you had. It was just an amazing place to work. Did that for a while, and then I transited from that position as a school administrator to a consultant and a trainer in the education space. So, I've been here for a little while doing my best to be able to make contributions to the education sector. I've been trained on several aspects in business development, leadership, structure formulation from several institutions. First, primarily, Benson Idahosa University Institute of Leadership, Impact World Leadership Institute, and I can go on talking about the trainings that I've received. So, I believe that with this level of experience and exposure, I have a thing or two to say concerning this subject matter. Again, what I would say is I do not like people to write what I say, write what you are going to do. So don't write what I'm going to say. You might, I don't know, Mr. Aaron or Mr. Ogedegwe, would they get the slides? Can they get the slides after now? Is that possible? They'll get the slides. So you don't necessarily have to write what I'm saying. My point is write what you would do. What you would do is more important than what I'm saying, right? Very important. Okay, thank you. You converted to PDF? Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Aaron. So, very, very important. So let's just get to the crux of the matter today. And please, this subject is very sensitive, and I'm passionate about this particular topic that we want to talk about for many reasons. And let me not jump the gun. So let's just follow the slides. All right. So first and foremost, let's look at the objectives. What are we going to be learning? What are we going to learn? Okay, so 3 objectives I have in mind to be able to achieve at the end of this session. I want to be able to create a core background of what school success really is. Because if you look at our topic, we're looking at achieving school success using technology this summer. Are we together? Right. So I want to create a background on what school success is. Then I want to help you see how to achieve school success and help you plan your school success using technology this summer. So very straightforward. Those are the 3 objectives that we have. So I need somebody to be keeping the time for me, please, because when I start like this, we can be here till next week. I'm kidding. Somebody said, which next week? I'm kidding. All right. So let me start by first looking at a few issues that I think I've encountered working with, and I've taught and I've trained, consulted for some schools in, almost all geopolitical zones in the country, focusing on business development and a few other things that are need-based for most of the schools, school structure, a few other things. And I've in doing this over the years, I feel like I've encountered these issues over and over again. It's same issues, but different environments. So in Abuja here, you will find the same issue, but because of the environmental context, the cultural context, right, you will find that the underlying issues are the same. So I want to point these issues that I've been able to see or experience over time. And please pay attention, because this is important as we go ahead with what we're going to be talking about. So number one, one of the, we can all see the board, right? I'm not tall enough to block. We can all see the board, right? Right. So one of the issues that I have encountered, which many schools or most schools are not paying attention to, is that we have a knowledge decentralization challenge. What does that mean? The traditional school building is no longer the custodian of knowledge distribution. So before now, every Harvard, Cambridge, some of the biggest institutions in the world they are gatekeepers when it comes to knowledge and research. To be a researcher who is acknowledged or who people pay attention to, you must be affiliated to some gatekeeping academic institution. But I hope you know today we have individual researchers doing mind-boggling work across several industries across the countries of the world, right? What this also means is that the source of information base, because as schools, let me not jump that anyway, the knowledge that we sell or we merchandise in our schools, because that's what's part of what we sell, is we package knowledge and sell to parents and to students anyway, right? It's no longer the same today. We have, you see this British curriculum. How many of us can remember when British curriculum was a thing? When it first came, consultants made millions of dollars. I'm not talking about naira. Like millions of dollars from some of the big schools, selling what? British curriculum. Today, I assure you, you can go on Facebook and just search 2,000 naira British curriculum. Where you are seated now, do that. So what this means is that there has been a polarization of the core of what you sell. Because what some schools used to gatekeep. I remember when IPC curriculum also started. How many of us are schools here? To use the IPC curriculum, as at the last time I checked, you pay about $50,000 as to get the license for both the IPC and the IEPC, International Early Years, I think, right? You pay that amount, because the last time that I had the correspondence with IPC, that was the amount they told. I don't know about now. So, but I was shocked when one day somebody mailed me the entire curriculum. I don't want to mention the name of the curriculum so that I don't get sued, right? But this is something that is sold for thousands of dollars. And people have access to this information like this now. So this is one thing that you should pay attention to. What you used to think is what makes you unique. We use blended curriculum of British. It's no longer schools in Alagbado. Do you know where Alagbado is? Or Makoko. There are schools in Makoko that are driving the British curriculum. Their implementation might not be the same, but they have access to almost the same knowledge base that your school have access to. So keep that in mind, because this is important. I'm building a foundation to why I think that technology is the key, right? So knowledge has been decentralized. What you used to think makes you so special, it's no longer so. Everybody now has access to these things. Just a little, if I sit down for 4 hours, 3 hours online, and I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm searching for. Some of the things that you are bragging about as your core USP, I will find it online almost for free. Do you understand what I'm saying? So your unique selling proposition in terms of knowledge base. How many of us also remember when Montessori education first came into the country? Like people who could train, Montessori trainers. Like they used to lodge them. I had one of my friends who was a trainer at that time. She also went to South Africa to join Montessori International to learn. And when she came back, allow me to use this word, Her account was just on fire because this school will call her today in Abia, another school will call her tomorrow in Uyu, another school. She was everywhere training people on Montessori how to. Today, I'm telling you, just go on YouTube and type, your teachers can sit in your school with 400 MB. And everything about so the key is the implementation might not be, because like I said, the problem is the same, but the environment, the contexts are different. Are we getting what I'm saying? So this is one issue. MBA too, like MBA courses. Like right now, some of you are seeing ads on Facebook, Instagram, telling you to come and do MBA for 250K. How much? Do you know how much they used to do MBAs before? Some of us have done MBA in Harvard. Now we have the sachetization of knowledge. You know how they are selling pure water in sachets, tea in sachets, hypo in sachets. They are now doing sachet knowledge. I'm not joking now. You see those courses on Udemy, on even Harvard. Harvard has started sachetizing their products. They are selling it. They will tell you one big volume of course. They will break it into small piece and put small amount on it. $50 for this one, 34. Why are you people looking at me as if I'm lying? I'm not lying. I'm not lying. So MBAs and core, courses and knowledge base that used to be, before you can access that level of knowledge, you have to be either in a certain circle or you have to have some certain amount. Your pocket has to be deep. But it's no longer like that. Things have changed so fast, right? So that's problem number one. Problem number two, schools no longer have autonomy over influencing parents. In the last 8 months, the number of parenting coaches I've seen, my God. We have parent coaches with 80,000 parents, 50,000 parents, 9,000 parents. So before now, there used to be, if you want to have access to parents, you either go to church. Are you with me? Or you go to associations or meetings. Do you get what I'm saying? Or you go to schools. But today it's not like that. We have parent coaches, home tutors. I can go on and on mentioning people who have direct influence over the parents in your school. Let me tell you, there are people who are in your school today that they will listen to their parenting coach than they will listen to your school. In fact, if their parent coach tells them that your school is not good, they will leave. People are looking at me strange. Should I mention there's somebody in this Abuja who has one of the biggest parenting coaching academy? Wendy Ologe. How many of us know Wendy Ologe? There are 80,000 people subscribe in Wendy Ologe's community. And what Wendy says on that platform is law. You don't understand what I'm saying? If Wendy tells your parent today that that school that they are going to remove them, they will remove them. So you no longer, as a school, as an institution, you no longer have that autonomy of influence to say that, some of us think that our parents, they love us so much. Yes, they do. But they love other people too now. They have other lovers. They are cheating on you. Yeah. They are cheating on you. So that's number two, because of time. Disruption in competition. So we have a new context. So we have now the schools in your neighborhood are no longer the only people competing with you. I hope you know that. So I'm going to talk about competition collaboration as we move ahead. Anyway, do you know what we are all selling? We are a subscription-based business. I hope you know that. You're a subscription-based business. That's the model that your business works in, subscription-based. People subscribe to your service every 3 months. In it, for my British brother in the building. People subscribe. You are a subscription-based business. That's what you are. That's your model. So what it means is that because you're a subscription-based business, you are battling for you are battling for disposable income, because it is who have eaten now and have shelter, right, that can now subscribe to any of the service. Are you with me? So every school is battling for disposable income depending on the economic brackets that your school is servicing. So you can be a high-end school. At that point, you know, their disposable income is the disposable income bracket is wider. Are you getting what I'm saying? Or you're a low-income school, your disposable income bracket is smaller. But at the end of the day, even tech companies like ULesson, they are also fighting for your parents. I hope you know that. Everybody is fighting for the disposable income in the pockets of your parents. ULesson, they are. So what I always say that is wise that you collaborate with them, because you people can have a shared vision. Are you getting what I'm saying? And fight the battle together. Because to be honest with you, if you want to fight this battle alone, you will lose. Tell you that for free. You will lose. So it's better you just go to your lesson office and say, come, my brother, come. I know you now, come. See, let me tell you, I know we are all fighting for the same money, but why don't you just come together and let's share this money? Are we together? So there is a disruption in competition. It's no longer the schools close to you. Before now, your competition are the schools close to you. The more schools are opening, the more your heart blood pressure will be going up. Some of you even go as far as saying, some of you even go as far as saying, they don't even know what they are doing there. They know what they are doing, no. Don't have main character syndrome when it comes to business. Two things you should put in your pocket: main character and ego. Put it in your pocket. They know what they are doing, no. They have their markets, they are serving their markets, they are just there doing their own thing. So there's disruption in the competition. You are competing with a lot of people now. You are competing with home lesson. In 2018, I posted, or 2019, I made a post on Facebook that in another 3 to 5 years, home tutoring will become a really big deal. People came on my page to insult me. How? What of the social aspect of development? I say, are you people seeing the trend in technology? Like, children stay on their own with tabs and mobile phones for hours. That means that what we used to know as social interaction and social development has changed. It's just that maybe there are no research enough to back it up yet. But all of that has changed. Am I doing something wrong? Not yet. Okay. So all of that has changed, really. So, you know, the social interaction methodology has changed. Children, see, my people, I'm beseeching you that you take this thing I'm saying as the truth. So the competition now is wild. You are competing with home. You know how many ads I see? People are tutoring their children at home. Let me tell you, it's even cheaper. I have a 1-year-old, right? And we are considering which school to put him in Port Harcourt. And I told my wife, I said, why don't I get like 3 other parents? I volunteer my house. They will come to my house. If it's curriculum, I can download it online. As a consultant, I have curriculums. I will bring one teacher. The 3 parents will come together. They will be dropping their kids off at my apartment. We will get one teacher for the 3 of the children. They are all in the same age bracket. Because I have friends who will all give birth almost at the same time. So they are all in the same age bracket. They will come to my house. A teacher who is earning 70,000 teaching 14 children, and I want to give him 150,000 teaching 4 or 5 children. Where do you think they want to go to? So that's the model. So I can decide to do that. If it's curriculum, I have it. If it's implementation, I can get somebody to train the teacher. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the competition is no longer those schools in your house. That's just one side of the competition. I can be running that in my house with one teacher who is a professional, who hasn't earned up to 150,000 teaching. He has taught hundreds of students. In fact, I'm about to blow his mind. Come to my house with my friends' children. We sit, they'll be there. I go to work, they'll come, sign NDA, sign documents. They'll come and teach them everything they're doing in your school. They'll be doing it in my house. Anything you want to buy, me and those people will come together, contribute money and buy it. All the equipment, the materials, all of those things. We'll come together and buy them. So the competition is getting stiffer by the day. And the models are changing. The education models are changing. Your classroom walls are becoming liabilities than assets. You know, before, if you have a good school that parents are satisfied, you know, you will just be printing money every 3 months. It's no longer like that, though. Like, you can be doing everything, break your head. One parent will just attend one seminar. Somebody will just say one thing, they pull out their children. I'm not joking with you. And now, now we are at the early phase of this thing in Nigeria. We are still at the early phase, which means that if your school can be able to position correctly and understand all the competitive models that are coming on board and have a way to strategically align themselves, I'm telling you, you can't lose out of the market. I've started also noticing that we have started having very big schools with lesser children. Like, you enter the school, massive structure, but you'll be hearing plenty echo. Like, I've started noticing it. Most of the schools have been going for summer training this August. I'm wondering, I'm asking the woman, what happened? Where are all your kids? Say they've traveled abroad, oh. They've done this, oh. Yeah, structure. But the enrollment is declining every year. Last 3 Septembers ago, maybe they enrolled 350. Last 2 Septembers ago, 250. Last September, 150. This September, they have no inquiries are not even up to 100. Things are happening, and you must be clear enough to understand that things are changing right before your eye. So let's go. This drastic decline in interest for service. So another issue that I think that I've also encountered over time is students no longer have interest to sit down with you for years, learning what they feel would not add any contribution to their life. Have you heard children discussing, what will Divide the X do for me now? Yeah? Do a poll when you get back. If you run maybe a secondary, primary, maybe from key stage 2, about that. Do a poll from your key stage 2 to the upper secondary on whether your students will like to learn a skill like forex, coding, robotics, STEM, or whatever. Look for those skills. Just align whether they would like to learn that for 3 years and start their own companies, or stay in your school for 6 years and get their SSC. Just when you get back, do that poll. Do it, serve it to the students. Let them not put their name. You'll be shocked that most of these children in your school, because their parents are forcing them. Just because their parents are forcing them. And some of them that have access to the internet, they have access to their phone, they are just on their own, doing their own thing. They will come to your class, be looking at your teacher. Your teacher is talking one thing. They are not looking at you. This man is coming from 1996. This man is not coming from 1996. Because you know the things they are interacting with alone, on their own. Tap to wealth. How many of you know that? My brain, My brain, I don't know what's this happening in my head sometimes. How many of you know that Tap to Wealth program? What's the name of that crypto? No, the one that paid. The one that have paid. Not coin. You came late. You came late to the party. Tap to Wealth. If it was a church program, you know that's what they will call it. You don't know. That's what they will call it. Tap to Wealth. Tap your way into fortune. 4 days power packed. If it was a church program, that's what I'll call it. Tap to. So now listen. You know how many teenagers? There's one boy, because I run a small media outfit in Port Harcourt as well. My editor, when people come in for photo shoots, we have 2 people that used to edit. That day, that boy made $400. You know what I'm saying? How much there is to pay that boy? He made $400 from Notcoin that day. Immediately Notcoin just paid like bam. He just entered my office and told me, "Sir, I'm going to buy everybody drink." I say, "Hi. Papa, come, I'm not paying. I'm not adding 1 naira to your salary." He say, "Which salary? I forget that thing." You know, teenagers in your school, some of those children, they open their crypto wallets. You will enroll for them to teach you. You will say, you are their teacher. You will swap places. Say, can I just be a student for a while? When I make it, you can swap back. So, yes, the interest for traditional education is, and it's simply because before now, traditional education is the ultimate route to securing a better social placement in life. So if you go to school and you read and work hard, you become something in life. So to have a great social placement in society, the route that you had to take before now was education. Education was the route. But education, yes, is still the route, but that education is no longer in the 4 walls of our schools. It's now on YouTube. It's now on Telegram. It's now on everywhere else but school. It's everywhere else but school. So students are seeing a trend that they have a friend who dropped out of school. It's now, and you say, please don't say, I need you to disabuse your mind to think that everybody making money is doing fraud. It's not true. It's not true. Don't think that everybody driving Benz is doing fraud. That's not it. Like the way people make money these days is mind-boggling. Like, I have some friends really that they do remote work. They don't leave their house. They are minting thousands of dollars. Just there are some people who are doing cold calling in their house. You know, cold calling. They are signed up to a company in the US. US people will send them phone numbers. They will just be dialing. That's their work, and they are making money. So the social placement thing. They say I have 20 minutes left, though. So okay, you know this is the problem I have to start with you. People want us to fight here now. If my back touch ground, you have won. If your back touch ground, I have won. People should just small type, please help me, help me. All the way from Port Harcourt, help me, help me, help me. Yeah. But people are enjoying the talk now. Just having fun with my family members. Don't come and cause division in my home, please. So, very important. You know, it's still, and of course, the rise in fraud also is not helping matters at all. How many of us saw the statistics from last WAEC? Man, I saw the statistics from last WAEC exam. My heart broke. Not for the students, because they will be okay. Yeah. You know, when I say my heart broke, you think it's for the students? There are too many. See, a student can fail WAEC today and be an investor in your company in 5 years. So my heart broke for the schools, I say, why everybody is complaining? Students are no longer serious. They are serious, but they are not serious with what you are giving them. They have something else taking their seriousness. Because it's a matter of interest. It's a matter of interest. Everybody excels in the things that they are interested in. It's a matter of interest. It's just what you are offering them. They are not interested in it. Shikina. Are we together here now? The next problem, I think this is like number 6. I don't know, number next. Time value. No, I have one more. Please come down. Time value of education. Right. What are the expectations of students today? Students have very weird expectations today. The students in your classroom have very weird expectations. So let me give, for instance, right? Students would prefer to be taught by rich teachers. Rich teachers. Or teachers that look rich. Anyway, because it's a perspective matter. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes, like you might not be rich, but just at least just stay fresh. You understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? So because they'll be able to connect more. Are you understand what I'm saying? What are the expectations of parents? Parents no longer expect you to just give children homework, classwork. That's the expectations of the kind of parents. Because if my child is in your school and all I'm just seeing is homework, classwork, this one, that one, I will pull my child out. So what are the expectations of parents today? The expectation of parents is far different from what it used to be before. Parents are also a lot more enlightened. Do you get what I'm saying now? Before, if a parent comes to your school for, let's say, for inquiry, they walk into your school, big building, fine classroom, they are blown away. Like, they'll just be looking at everywhere, fine school. It's no longer like that now. Parents will be asking you curriculum-based questions. They are asking you a core academic, something you'll be wondering, you know, where you go, who teach you this one now? So it's the expectations, and it's only in school business that you have 2-tier customer base. Unlike ULesson, for instance. ULesson have a 1-tier customer base, which is either B2C or B2B. So what that means is that once they sell to the child, to the parents, I'm using ULesson as an instance, they have their tab. If a parent buys the tab, the parent is satisfied. They are okay. If the school buys the tab, The school is satisfied, they are okay. So it's one tier level. But you see, school business is different. You have a 2-tier level satisfaction base. The parent and the child has to be satisfied. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The parent and the child, if the child keeps complaining and the parent is satisfied, give it time, they will pull out that child. If the parent keeps complaining and the child is satisfied, give it time, they will still pull out the child. So you have a 2-tier based satisfaction that your school must consistently meet. So what your satisfaction communicates should not just cover, because the mistake most schools make is they are looking at how to satisfy parents, and they are not satisfying the who. Children. You know that children are the biggest advertisers of your school. Children. Very, very funny thing. Like a child just goes to a church now and they ask him to come and do one recitation and his mouth is just sharp. At the end of the day, people will not ask who your father is. They will ask which school did you. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like they will just be asking which school is he attending? Which school is he attending? That's how his teacher is trying. Me, don't tell me that kind of rubbish. That his teacher is trying. I'm trying, my dear. What do you mean his teacher is trying? So that's what it is. So let's move to the next. What strategies? You see, you push to rub something. You should give me to rub now. Anytime he touches it, the thing will just. But me, I've not rubbed that thing. What strategies can you use? What strategies guarantees school business success? So let's go to the next slide. Oh God, I did this thing with sleep eyes. Go. This is not my opening thoughts. Go. It's in the rubber has finished. Okay, don't worry. Just go back. Go back to the. Go back. Go do that. So my opening thoughts for what do we do? What are the strategies to put in place? My opening thoughts. This is one point. This is not my opening thoughts. But let me share my opening thoughts with you. This is to prove to you that I made that slide. So can you clap for me, please? Yes. So prove to you I made this slide. So my opening thought is this: school business success is an exact science. Please get this, very important. I'm building foundation because we are going somewhere. I started by talking about the problems that we have encountered in school business, and now I want to share with you strategies I think you can put in place. My opening thought is this: school business success is an exact science. The only difference is cultural, environment, finance, planning, and the rest of that. But it's an exact science. What does that mean? It means that if you study what works for other schools, and you practice exactly the same thing as it relates to your environment, you will get the same results. Many schools don't want to do what is required. That's one of the big issues. We are investing in the wrong places. That's one of the big issues. You are putting money in the wrong places. There's a school owner I'm consulting for in Port Harcourt currently. They are trying to rejig their system, restructuring and a few things that we are trying to do for them this August. And I'm telling the man, what's your budget? I have XYZ million that I want to put into this project, because the man was on ground. He now left for missions work. By the time he came back, the whole place had turned upside down. So the structure of the school first collapsed, not building. I mean, the internal structure, right? No culture, nothing. The place was just, they are all running it. Schools are just to run on their own. Anybody else doing what they like, everybody's working in silos. They are just enjoying themselves, But he came back and the population had reduced by 50%. So I'm asking this man, where are we going to and then I give the man a breakdown. If you have XYZ million, put this amount here. The man even attended the Port Harcourt conference. That one that came very late. Put this money here, put this money here, put this money here, put this money here. If we do this on a short term, we can be able to get this result, this result. On a long term, we can be able to give this result. The man said, no, I need to paint. I say, okay, that's fine. It's not a bad thing, because aesthetics is a very important part of school marketing. You get my point? So I said, okay, after painting, can we now do this? He said, no. He said, once I paint, just watch. I said, wow. You see, Mr. Peter, I've done this business well. He said, once I paint now and I just put one or two things in place, just watch. I said, okay, sir, no wala. Call me back when you are failed. I'll be waiting. Because see, I know what that environment, I know how this thing works. You understand what I'm saying? People are getting much more value for a lesser price. I don't know if you understand what I mean. That thing that you are using to brag, say, we are doing this, doing that, doing that, doing that, doing that. They will go somewhere else. The same school, another school will tell them, we are doing exactly the same thing, but it's cheaper here. I say, you can't do that. You have to invest in the right places. So, in terms of how you spend money, what you spend money on, where your energy is focused on, if you study the schools who are doing well enough, right, and you repeat the same things that they are doing, my point is you will get the same results. Because school business, as long as you are doing school business, it's an exact science. It's garbage in, garbage out. It's garbage in what? If you do the right thing, get the right results. So okay, calm down. So let me talk about this. So the first thing that you need to do, your strategy number one that you need to put in place this holiday. You know what? We're still going to come to how you use technology. I'm building this foundation and I'm going to now clip it up with that as we go on. The strategy number one that you must define is, what does success mean to your school? I used to ask school owners this question. I say, if a child stays with your school, with your teachers for 9 months, what are they supposed to look like? What's the model? In terms of intellect, in terms of social, in terms of, what's the child support? What's your result model? Many schools don't have it. So there is nothing to compare. They just say, our session has ended. We did well this session. How do you know? And many schools, they are not analyzing their data. The assessments that you do every session, that you do exams, you do tests, all of those things are data. I hope you know. You are supposed to sit down and analyze those data as it relates to your success model. Do you get what I'm saying? So every teacher is supposed to, if a child stays with me for 9 months, this is what the child should look like. In terms of intellect, in terms of performance, in terms of awareness, in terms of, self, emotional, you have to have that model. You have school saying, we have finished the session, we have done our SWOT analysis, we have set goal for the next step. How do you know you even did well when there is nothing to measure against? Are you getting what I'm saying? So you have to be able to create a model. What does success, what does it mean to you, to your school? Because, see, I'm consulting, one of the sweetest consultations I'm doing is one school in Ajib. The humans, they know what they are doing. They know what they are selling. They know, like, everything is just there. So it's easy. Some of the schools that we consult for, you go in, everything is just mumbled in. There's no clarity. Come, are we together? So that's the first thought. You must define what success means to your school. What does success mean for the children? What does success mean for your parents? What does success mean as an institution? There are schools where if we can get 100 enrollment, we have succeeded, whether parents are satisfied or not. It just depends on your school. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You have to, per session, define what success means to your school. The next slide. Time. The next strategy is, what is summer school, holiday lesson, holiday engagement? People were even debating online. Don't call it summer school in Nigeria because there's no summer in Nigeria. How many of you agree with that? How many of you agree with that? That we should not call it summer school. If you agree, here is one. Say there's no summer in Nigeria. Rain is falling. Which kind of summer is that? My own opinion is, anyhow you want to communicate it, that your parents know that August, they should bring their children back. If you can't call it summer, if you like, call it winter. If you like, call it anything you want to call it. Some people say holiday engagement. But what is that program supposed to do for your school? One of the biggest mistakes I see many schools make, they start advertising for summer in July. Their summer school in July. It's only school business. I used to see that we don't have business model, no business plan, no sales architecture, nothing. It's just vibes. And inshallah, they're just vibing. They're just vibing. Can you be like a business? No lead generation, nothing. No. If I ask some of you that are school owners here now, how many leads do you have from January to this summer? How many leads had your school generated? Some of you don't even know what lead generation is. How many leads did you see? And now you expect that September, bam, miracle will just happen. That people will just be coming from far and near because you're a big school. That's not how it works anymore. So, what are you supposed to do during the summer holiday? Number one, your summer holiday is supposed to encourage exploration. Children are supposed to explore themselves, explore their potentials, explore their skills. It's supposed to be an exploration journey. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because they've done academic for almost 9 months, and summer holiday is here. What you're supposed to do during the summer holiday is to allow them explore. Are we still together? That's number one. Your summer holiday, your holiday engagement program is supposed to inspire. Every time the children come in August and they are with you in August, they have that program in August, they are supposed to be pumped for the next session. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because everything that they do during that program is supposed to inspire them for the coming session. Are we together? And this thing takes a lot of planning. Then the next thing is you are supposed to use the summer school to experiment and advertise. Are we together? Because if your summer program goes right, your September enrollment will be flawless. That's why you should not be planning for your summer school in July. From January, in fact, there are schools that we're working with now. We are planning for the entire session. Their marketing plan, we are developing different plans across broad, so that you first of all, you even have what to, when first term ends, you can go back to a blueprint and say, this is what we said we are going to do. Some of us don't have that. You are just going. There's nothing you are going, no black and white, where you are going back to and saying, this is what we all agreed we are going to do. We have done 1/3 of it. We are going to do the 2/3 of it. And by the end of the session. So you need to be able to use your summer holiday to experiment all those ideas that you cannot carry out because of how rigid the structure is for the session. You're supposed to experiment it during the summer holiday class. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. There are some ideas of teachers who bring. You say, we can't do this. We have scheme. We're running a tight scheme. There's no time. We have this activity, that activity. Summer, you have 5 weeks. Some schools running for 4 weeks. Are we getting what I'm saying? And you use that time to test ideas. Let's run. The next thing you're supposed to do is to have technology adaptation. When you get this slide, I think this link clicks, right? This is a link to a research work that I read, and I think that you should read it. It talks about the correlation between technology and the improvement in performance of students, especially in today's world. That there is a strong correlation between kids who do well and kids who interact with technology, that there is a correlation. At least it's not me saying it. When you open it, it's not. I did not bribe the man. The man on his own, he was in his house. He said, I want to do research. I went to do the research, collected data. I can tell you for free that I did not bribe this man that did this research. So you can, when you get the slides, you can read that up. I'm not going to take the time to begin to do that. The second strategy that you want to adopt is during this summer or during this coaching, September, whatever you call it, you need to adapt technology. My A here is missing, so you forgive it. You need to adapt technology. There must be technological adaptation. Remember, I said that you have to inspire, you have to explore, you have to advertise. All of those things can be done. These few weeks, you can use it to do a lot of integration. All those times that your teachers will complain, we can't do this because there's no time. You have 4 weeks to be able to experiment with a lot of technological innovation that your school can introduce. Let me tell you, as of today, the only thing that you can begin to do in your schools that make you to stand out almost immediately, I get what I'm saying, is to either engage in competition-based advertisements, like what the ambassadors in Ota is doing. The ambassadors, that school have won mathematics competition, like they have like 17 math teachers in that school. For them, that's a marketing strategy. Because when you win cowbell competition, they publicize your school across the country. You don't know. Billboards across the country. They will give you free airtime on radio. They do a lot of stuff. So that's one. Number two is technology. There's a school, my school where I worked last as an admin. The children just got scholarship to travel abroad on one STEM education, one thing. You know, there are billions of dollars being released by First World Nation for STEM education and technology in our schools. I hope you know. Your schools can even be making side income from technological adaptation. The problem we have is some of us here don't even know how to check if the people coming to your school are doing the right thing. They just tell you that they are doing coding, they are doing robotics. How do you know that coding and robotics is the right coding and robotics they should be doing? To a school, say they are doing STEM education, doing coding, I'm looking at what they are doing and I'm wondering, how much these people will be here? Oh. Some of you are just happy so that you can tell parents that we are doing coding, we are doing robotics. It's not about that, though. It's not about that. Some of us now in our school, they have been doing coding and robotics for the last 9 years. 5 years, that's even your bragging point. You say this coding and robotic thing that some people are just starting. We have been doing it for years. You don't have one product on Play Store. You don't understand what I'm saying? Your school does not have one thing that they've developed to say, we have been doing this thing for 5 years. See one thing that we develop. We develop an app to write tests. See it here. No one. They are just doing the coding and robotics. And if you are not doing project-based learning, why are you learning in tech? How are you? You don't know projects. You are not learning in the air. Okay, let's go. So you need to adopt technology. The next thing is, how do you adopt technology? Number one, during your summer school, you need to adopt borderless lessons. This is a time to open the walls of your classroom for your children to be able to experience learning in other parts of the world. That's what this means. So let's say you have this kind of an appliance. Your students can plug into classrooms in Finland. I hope you know that. All you have to do is to write to some of these schools and have a joint summer school with them where your children are learning standardized learning processes from children across the world. Are you getting what I'm saying? So during summer school, you can engage in borderless learning where you open the walls of your classroom to allow standards, global standards to come in. There's no way you can do that without having a solid technology base in your school. Yeah. You write to a school in the UK, you know, and maybe during this summer school, because this is the time for you to experiment. Once a week, twice a week, your teacher goes in front of the camera, is teaching the children there about the culture and the aspects of Nigeria. And the people there are teaching your children about the culture of any other place, Scotland, Wales, whatever. And you are telling your parents that this summer we are not just doing, this summer we are doing, you find a way to brand it in such a way that they understand that you are doing cross-border learning. Are you getting what I'm saying? This is one way that you integrate technology and it's smooth, seamless. If you can just do the planning, you write to the school, exchange correspondence, design the timetable, and you know the impact that will do. Because as growing up as a child, one of the biggest things that happened to me was just being able to interact with people that I might not be able to reach out to using technology. It has such a profound impact on the minds of your students that there are people in other parts of the world that can learn from you, that you can learn from. The world does not exist. The world does not begin and stop in Babalada. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. Because I hope you know, even if you run a rich school, there are poor people there. You don't know. Yeah, there are people like me now. I was a poor person in a rich school because I was on scholarship. Somebody sponsored my scholarship from primary 4 to 400 level because they said I could talk. See this talking thing? It has been helping me. I'm telling you. They called me one day to church. I did children program. I preached. I was shouting. Very smart child. Take him to school. That's how I got into one of the biggest one, a very big school in Lagos with children of the high and mighty. How did I adjust? How was I? It's just tech. Tech helped me to be able to balance in appropriately. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. My mind was opening with time. So you can be able to take children, they are here with you, but you've opened their mind to the possibilities that the world has to offer. Are you getting what I'm saying? Those small things that you do, just spark up curiosity in the mind of children, and you'll be shocked the extent that children can go once they're curious. So that's one way that you can integrate technology is during this, and it's not late. Today is what, 12th? What today's date is what? It's not late. Some of you have friends in the UK. Call them. Put your phone on dial. Call them that want to have an exchange program. You know, that's what they call it. But some exchange program, your school might not have the money to now travel to the UK or do that. You can have an e-exchange program. Are you getting what I'm saying? Call them. Number 2 is you need to have project-based technology program. Tell your ICT and your tech teachers in your school, they should not be teaching and be going. There should be an end. Something we used to measure. Put barricade. Don't just be teaching and be going. No. They should have project-based. What are they working on? This scratch that they are learning. They are learning. That's it now. We are you lesson tech people. It's scratch, Abi. Scratch. This scratch that they are learning. I want to see the scar. You didn't get that joke. If I was in church now, they'll be shouting, right on, Pastor. They are scratching. I want to see the what? Scar, the scar of that scratch. Yeah? You know, being scratch. So please, project-based. What are we developing? Students, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, they are developing gender-based apps. They are developing apps that trigger warning during sexual assault. There is too many problems for your school to just be scratching and there's no scar. Project-based technology program, very important. Number 3, explore gadgets, explore platforms, explore materials outside the regular curriculum. See, let me tell you, this is the time. If you have something like this in your school, tell the children, just give them 1 hour. They should just be joking with it. Are you getting what I'm saying? You have the tabs. You give them time. Summer school is not something you just come again and be teaching mass English. You know, you have some of you now that used to do step ahead people. They are here. Step ahead now. They are using this summer to step ahead the children. They are already teaching first term work in summer school so that they can be step ahead. Let me tell you, it's not by stepping ahead, it's whether your children are really ahead. So you need to explore gadgets. Allow them. You know, some of you are doing STEM education. Some schools are not rich enough to handle STEM. There are other parts of technology that you can. I hope you know that. Yeah, because if you're doing STEM education, there are gadgets you need to buy, things you need to put in place. So explore gadgets. Like I don't know if any school has this kind of this board in there. You just keep it in your class. It's like an idol. Nobody should touch it. Nobody should near it. Okay. Nobody should near it. Just stay 5 miles away from it. During the summer school, allow them. You get their tabs, get the ULSC tab, this board, platforms, let them explore. Tell them to even create. During the Port Harcourt session, they were saying some subjects. Tell your students, there are videos there. Let them create. I don't know if you are getting what I'm saying. Your teachers should explore. They should create. Next slide, please. Then the next thing is to have a plan. Next slide. Strategy number 3. Understand that school business. That was the first thought I was looking for. It was there. Next slide. Then the last thing I want to talk about, I have other things to talk about, but I have to stop here, is in school business, what are we selling? You have to know what you are selling, right? The next slide. What are we selling? I don't have the time. Calm down. Let me just make this interactive. I have just 5 minutes, I'll be done, right? 5-10 minutes, I'm done. 10 is good. Okay, great. Thank you. So I want to ask this question. In your schools, what are you selling in your schools? I do this thing in Port Harcourt. Let me do it here. Do we have another mic? Is that, or we can use this? Anybody? What are you selling in your school? What are you selling? It's a question I'm training. So I need answers. Because if we don't know what we are selling, how are we selling it? So anybody, what are we in your school? What are you selling? Yes, please. I see a hand there. Let's please just stand up, introduce yourself, school where you're from, and you now give us an answer. What are you selling in your school? Man raised the hand first, though. You want to go into problem with women? I'm not here. If you go and fight with women, I'm not there. Go ahead. Great.
So we sell 1, intelligence, we sell moral, and we sell discipline.
Discipline. Okay. Intelligence, moral, and discipline. How do you sell intelligence, though?
Well, let us speak first.
We'll come back to that. But do we have more hands, please?
Yes, from Teaching Academy.
Okay.
All right. One of the things we're selling is exposure.
Exposure.
Yes, we also expose the child.
Great. Who else? Someone else? Yes, please.
Yes, please. Thank
Rupert.
In our school, we serve creativity,
Creativity. Yeah.
moral,
Morale.
and
Discipline. Are you from the same school? Are you selling the same thing? Yeah. So let him answer quickly. How do you sell intelligence? Sorry, sir. Okay, online.
Someone online for Chantal says we are selling knowledge.
Knowledge.
That's the only one on my.
Okay, what school is that?
When in the comments.
Okay, so the person can comment the school. If you are listening to me, you say you are selling knowledge. Sorry?
Girls Science School.
Huh?
Girls Science Secondary
Girls
School.
Science Secondary School. Okay, we saw your comment. Thank you so much. So if there is anybody else online, I would like to know what your school is selling so that we need to understand this. Very, very important. So yes, I asked him a question. How do you sell intelligence? I want to hear from him.
Thank you. I think my colleagues also mentioned this. You can sell your intelligence through knowledge-based idea. So through that, one, we are going to develop that skills of creativity.
All right.
Right? And we are going to develop that skill of, being bold to come out and make people believe on what you have, or what you have learned to life is.
Great stuff. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, please, ma'am. We have two hands. Give it here. I will take maybe one more, and because I'm trying to close. Good morning, ma'am.
I don't know how to put it, but as second point is one.
The name of your school, ma'am?
Ella School.
Ella School. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Debbie.
Okay.
Okay. So our kids, when people see our kids, what they see is confidence.
Confidence.
And skills.
Then skills.
So those two things are just what.
Amazing stuff. Amazing. Yeah, ma, I saw your hand. Right. Do we have any other comments online? The online people should help us now. Online people, tell us, what are you selling in your school? Just drop it in the comment section so that we know. Yes, go ahead.
I said this school.
Your name, ma'am? Okay, ma'am.
Okay, we're faith-based school.
Great.
And that's one of our major selling points. We're a Christian school. We have parents that will say, I've seen this here, but I want a Christian education for my children.
Okay, great. So you literally sell faith. They're doing child trafficking. I'm selling faith. Okay. Yes, please, sir. Yes, one more.
For community staff schools, we say character. That's why they here. We're not trying to work here. So say character.
Okay, great. So you see that as you gave me that water that you went to bring from that place now. As I don't touch it, it's just so listen to this. In your school, you don't sell books. In your school, you are not selling learning experiences. In your school, you are not selling literacy, right? Maybe you are. But I feel like every school is a B2C subscription-based business selling two things. All these things that you have said now, discipline, what else? Moral, what else? Character, what else? Is going to result in one thing, opportunity. It's going to, anything you are selling in your school that does not create opportunities for the children, it's not okay. It's not okay. A child that joins your school, because that's what we are selling. What we are selling in our school is opportunity. We are saying that if you come to our school and you are faith-based, you get faith, it would help because what school is supposed to do is supposed to create opportunities for you in life. Am I lying? The way you do that will now matter from school to school. But that's why you will never see Coca-Cola say come and buy Coca-Cola. I hope you know. If you find a Coca-Cola ad that says come and buy Coca-Cola, I will dash your money. Or Samsung or iPhone. Literally say buy iPhone. You will find that. What they do is that they market the end product. What is the school going to do to you? The end product of that is what they market to you. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So what you are selling is two things: access and opportunities. You can do that by, integrating exposure, competition, discipline, moral. But every school sells these two things. Is what? Access to knowledge, access to people. I hope you know that. Some people here, the people you met in your school have turned business partners. The people you met in university, they are now, do you understand what I mean? So your school sells access and opportunities. That's what all schools sell. How you now sell it is a different ballgame and a different conversation altogether. But this is what we are selling: opportunities and access. That's what every school is selling. So it now depends on how your school sits down to say, this is the product. How do we package it? There's Dano Milk. There is Pig Milk. There's Cowbell. They are all selling what? It's milk. It's dairy products. But they are now packaging it using different lingua, using different processes, using different packaging. Just because all schools sell access and opportunities. That's what people are selling. And I would end by saying this: there is no way in 2024 that your school will be able, no matter how disciplined your child is, no matter how morally upright your child is, if that child does not have access to technology, in 2024, the child cannot make it. See, this one I've said now, you can argue with your keypads. If the children in your school do not have access, optimum access, I'm not talking about computer lab, from their classroom to tests to exams, to, if they don't have that level of exposure to technology, they cannot. See, let me tell you, I say every day I thank God. Where would I, like, do you know where water is? Do you know where we grew up? People like us. How? I'm here today now talking to some of you who have been in industry business for years. Even my development in my career, thank God for technology. What did I just say now? Like, thank God for technology. Some of the people that you have, like, thank God for technology. Technology is the leveler. See this thing you are saying like this. This is not a screen touch board. This thing is a door. What did I say? This thing like this is a door. It's a door to opportunities. Like, they put it on, it's like opening a door. You walk in. Like, sometimes I think about it that I'm still teaching in school now, and I have this kind of people. I have the world behind me, gossiping. I can stand like this. This thing will just be talking to me like, and I'll be teaching students. Like, I know what I'll be doing when I was in classroom. My brain, like, every time I asked them when they came to I'm like, these people, where were you people when somebody was even in the classroom? Because I'm thinking about it that I had access, a little bit more access. The work, some of us have done work, personal. I woke up, I got in very late. I slept maybe around 4 a.m. I'm up this morning. Thank God for technology. I will not meet up with all the things that I'm supposed to do here today. Because you cannot, no matter what, if you like, use golden paint on the walls of your school. Use silver chairs and golden biro. If there is no investment in technology, take it to the bank. You are just short-circuiting the magnitude of opportunities that those children in your school would have. And I weep for the children today, because if we do not expose them, somebody else will. We can now decide to expose them and secure that exposure. Because if it's technology, where are we? Do you know, I was watching a video in, whether it's the US or so, you know, they are using robots to deliver food to people's house. In China, they are using drones to do big size delivery. They are delivering cars and a few other things in small scale for now. But to think of where the world will be in another 30 years. By that time, you'll be old and feeble, but you would have done a damage to a life of a child who a few investments would have opened the door and created an opportunity for children to be able to compete. Because that's what we're doing. Because of what we think, we are seeing the world from our own lens, not from the lens of where the world is going. So there is no, you cannot achieve this. Access and opportunities cannot be created. You can never create opportunities for children if you do not pay attention. Schools are like, I'm begging us. This is not about you lesson. It's not about them at all. It's about the future of the children in your classroom. Ask them, if it were about money, I will not be here. It's just that finally, some of us now see that we have access to be able to speak to key stakeholders and decision makers in the education space. Look at where we are as a country. You see, children, they will spend millions of naira in your school. They come out just because some group of 5-7 people could not just decide that, okay, let's just invest a few millions in this aspect of our school business. Do you know people, graduates? I sit on the panel of interview every day. Graduates have nothing to offer. Nothing to offer. You are seeing somebody who has done from primary to tertiary institution. That's zero. Technology is the leveler. The same things that Indians are doing, the same thing that is happening in China, we can make it happen in just smaller scales in our schools if we do the right thing by making the right investment and ensuring that we expose our children to the knowledge base that they require to make it in life. I hope that with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you. If I didn't do that, also confuse you that technology is an important factor for school growth. Thanks so very much. So maybe we can take questions.
No. A mini Q&A session. A quick Q&A session. Okay, so first of all, put your hands together for him once again. I was about to say right on pastor as well, but as a fellow Port Harcourt boy, I understand you very well. Anywho's, do we have questions in the house? Okay, so I'm going to be giving numbers. So if you have your question, put your hand up quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm stopping at 6. But we're running out of time. 5. The mic is there. So there's one question online, so we can read that one out. Oh, online people, we see you, just so you know. If you can leave an emoji in the comment section, just so that we acknowledge you. Number 1 is right here.
Good morning, everyone. So, I don't know if mine is a question or an observation, but when I look at the hub, or when I look at everyone here, I feel that you're talking to private school owners. And I want to tell you the truth, we hold technology very dear to our hearts. We are trying to see ways we can make our children have access to technology. I want to look at Nigeria, the bigger picture. We have fewer, or let me say the smaller fraction of children in our schools. Have you gone to public schools before? Share the number of children we have there. Is anybody sending this message to the government? Our children in public schools are being denied this. I can tell you that the children in our schools have, to some extent, they have privilege. We expose them to some of these things, not in the public schools. So how is you lesson, or how are you, working this up to the government schools where the children don't even have people to speak up for them, they don't even have access. How are we able to reach that gap? Because we have to care for these children. Thank you.
Let me provide an answer. Is that okay?
Yes, sure.
Great. So while somebody from ULSA, I'm not going to people come out answer how you do for public school. I'm kidding anyway. But I want to say this, right? That first and foremost, I personally have trained public school key holder. I trained for Lagos State government, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Can't remember now. A district, because Lagos, they do year in, year out, they do their quality assurance department do developments for certain levels, if you're in public schools in Lagos. So I had done that kind of a training before. And we had this conversation extensively, right? the public school space is a very complex space, especially in Nigeria. It's an extremely complex space. You know, even when you want to move the needle, there's a lot of bureaucracy that happens, you know, in that process. Because most of the people who attended that training were principals of public schools. There were about 300 of them, and we did a 3 days training, and it was centered on them using technology as well to, you know, speed up stuff for their schools. But this is what I want to say to private schools, and this is my appeal. I'm willing, and for me, I'm not driven by money. If there are people here or anywhere, you are listening to me online anywhere, this is recorded, that have the capacity to be able to adopt schools, please do it. Because to be honest with you, ULSC might submit proposals, write to government, try to get in. There is a limit to what they can do because of the willingness of government to be able to do what's correct. I'm telling you, because I've been in that space. I interact with these people. But as we are here, if you have the capacity, because right now our solutions in Nigeria is despite. Do you understand what I mean? Because that's the only way we can function. Is despite, because this question now, ULSC will just come and tell you, maybe, I don't know what they want to answer, tell you interventions they are doing to, you know, go into, I don't know, maybe that's the answer. But if you can, as schools, if you can, because I know that those kind of arrangements happen using NGO bodies and the rest, so you can adopt schools across board. As I was coming, you know, here, I had an idea that, you know, because truly, like you said, truly, we have a huge gap, and there are bodies and NGOs doing what they can in their ways to be able to fulfill these gaps. But my own admonition is, whatever contribution you personally or your school can make to be able to also elevate, because if your school, for instance, decides today, or you have a community or an organization, or say, okay, we want to do an intervention, we want to adopt, let's say your village, where they can give you Chistan Size. You go there and now adopt a public school there, and you send intervention there, you would have been able to solve the problem for those children. But if it's to wait for government, maybe ULSC will tell us what government have promised them. You wanted to tell us what government promised to people. So that's the answer that I will provide, because I've worked externally a little bit with the public sector, and it's a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Peter. I think just to even start speaking. Okay, first of all, my name is Elo. Hi, everyone. I'm the Vice President for Media and Curriculum here at ULSN. So I'm the one hosting you today. This is my floor where my team members sit. So practically we had to stop work just to be able to have this event. So welcome to everyone. Just to add to, start from where Mr. Peters stopped. I think when he was speaking, he said ULSN has 2 tiers of subscription or so, and he said B2C and B2B. So when I came up, I was going to say, oh, we have B2G. So we've been working with government a lot, I think over a year now. And just to answer your question, the government is interested. So even without us going to them, they're coming to us. Almost every month, we have a state government here visiting, just trying to find out how can we partner, how can they deploy these tools in their states. So as at today, even currently happening in Plateau State, as CEO, the head of curriculum, they had to leave yesterday impromptu. Why? The Plateau State government is interested. So they've taken these boards, a couple of them, they're going to set it up for a pilot program. I can say this because it's actually happening right now as we are here. If not, he would have been the one here even speaking and answering your question. So they come to us a lot. We have a program we have deployed. Because it's not been announced in the news, so I'm not going to give so much details, but in 9 states, they have bought devices just to deploy to students, and it's in public schools, not in private. Also, I think NTA News, was it day before yesterday, the 9 o'clock news, if we saw the news with the Vice President and MTN, where they bought 5,000 subscriptions, they're going to deploy to schools across the states, 36 states. I'm not sure how they're going to. I think at that news, they said, oh, they were going to decide on the criteria, who is going to get what, but that was 5,000 subscriptions. So ULSN is doing a lot with the government currently. I hope that answers the question. Yeah, it will, because this is at grassroots level, trust me. It's not some fancy people coming here that like we've gone into places just to even see who are the people going to be receiving this thing. And recently, I think they announced the whole local government autonomy thing where government will now be sending money directly to local government. So trust me, we're already in talks with those people. Rather than before we've been speaking at state level, but now we're even going more granular and speaking to local government chairman. So once you get your money, this is what your lesson has to offer. And trust me, a lot of them, like a lot of governments have bought this board. Maybe they've just not announced it officially on their ends too, because they're still testing out this pilot stage for a lot of them. But once that pilot stage is successful, yeah, there are plans to just even deploy across so many public schools. So yeah, thank you.
All right. So, you want to ask?
Yes, sorry. So, and I want to appreciate you, man, because I mean, you are sitting here, you can be thinking of how your school can make more money. Well, I think so. Can we appreciate her for that question, please? Very, very important.
All right, next question.
Thank you. Okay, my question is, what's the best way to make technology available to children, less than 5-year-old children? We've had specialists who have criticized exposing these children to tabs, and we've seen what addiction to these tabs do to these little children. Some of them actually get violent to the stage where they even break the tabs themselves. So what's the best way to expose these little children to technology, and what are the best devices that these children can be exposed to? Children of 0 to 5 years. Thank you.
So, very candidly, that's where this screen comes into play, right? Because I get your point. Remember in Port Harcourt, somebody also brought up the early years thing. That's where the screen comes, because if you have this in your early years classroom, for instance, right, is installed, because I'm sure it's not just this stand, it can be installed on the wall too, right? So in case you're afraid that they might, tamper with, if you have this installed in your early year classroom, they can use it for their multimedia to watch rhymes, and it's controlled. What that means is they can only, the access to screen time that they have is controlled 100%, only to when they need to. It's like TV in their houses. Do you understand what I'm saying? And for early year children, if you are in collaboration with the parents, and they also do not get phone times in their houses, maybe just, because candidly, I don't think, because I know that they say do not explain, like my son now, I operated the TV in my parlor because he has not been exposed to screen in it will be too soon. And I don't think the total time he has watched TV is up to 5 hours in his entire lifetime. Do you understand? But I know that once he clocks 2 and gets into pre-nursery, I'm making sure that the school that they have has just this in the classroom, because I will have one in my house. So I'm collaborating with the school on my own end to make sure that the time he's spending on the TV is regulated. And when he gets to class, he also has a regulated time frame, because it's just for rhymes. It's just for, what you do, when they have nap time, you put it off, they are not. So for me, I think that for the early year classes, right, the tabs might not really work, but I believe that this screen works efficiently, because you can use it for multimedia and the rest of that. And because he has access to the internet, he has access to most of the materials that the teachers will need, and you can now regulate the timing, in my opinion. And so they have the same experience from the school to their house. When they get to the house, they will see something like this as well, which is the TV in their parlors. Do you get what I'm saying? So once parents are in collaboration with you, they have less screen time in the house, they have regulated screen time in school. I mean, I believe that will work excellently. That synergy works.
Some of the opinion that these little ones shouldn't be exposed and tablets.
That's my opinion. Mr. Ogedegbe will fight me, but that's my opinion. That from that early years, the exposure to tabs and screen, because it should be regulated. Not that because let me give an example. I noticed that when my son goes out to interact with other children, right, I overdid his screen time thing. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, because he doesn't want phone, nothing. Like, it's just in my house. Once he wakes up in the morning, I have a bag of toys. I just pour it out for him, and hours it's just there scattering everywhere. So when he goes out to now interact with other children, they are not as active as he is. You know, when children are not exposed, he's now, I don't know how to say, maybe overactive. I don't know, that's not the, but I also noticed that most of the materials being produced now are backed by heavy research. Like, most of those things you watch, Coco Melon, all those companies, they have PhD professors in childhood education, neuroscientists, the kind of music, the colors, the appearance, the shape, all of those things are based on heavy research work. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So my point is, if you are going to even expose the children to, it should be regulated, not like total ban. You know, don't be like me. It's not like total ban, but it should be heavily regulated. Do you understand what I mean? It should be heavily regulated, because the screen thing, I mean, it has its own negative, impact on children, but it should be regulated. But if you want to totally integrate, into your early year classroom, what I will heavily recommend is that you have a smart board that, it aligns perfectly with the home environment, because you need that level of reinforcement. When they are in their class, they have that. If the parents now collaborate with you, they reinforce what you are trying to do in the house. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, thank you. Just to add, thank you very much, Mr. Triumphant. So this thing, there's a balance to it, right? And it's important we share that balance. Most of these things we talk about, you notice that even in other countries, the kids that manufacture these things we don't want to give our kids to are from like 6, 7, 8, 9 years. That's a fact. Remember, we're trying to ensure our kids are globally competitive. So how do you take advantage of technology without throwing away the morals, without leaving them exposed? That's the challenge. That's the difficult one. And what we've done at ULSN, the first thing we've done as a company was that every single staff you see at ULSN, we had a training on how to handle children. It was a composite training, a standard training across the company, where every staff, whether you're a sales, you're a marketer, or you're a content creator, you understand how to develop content that appeal to a child or that abusing the child. And the second thing we did was that we knew there are a lot of tablets outside. We wanted something that would effectively help a child learn without fully exposing them to the dangers. We did two things. We had to customize our tablet deliberately. But first of all, even the team members, right, that did this work, apart from the training they also had a specialized training in education for children. We ensure that our tablets now are offline. That's one, because if they don't have access to the internet, you reduced certain level of exposure, right? So you can enjoy educational content, global content, without necessarily going to the internet, where you can be easily weighed from one level to another. The other thing we did again was that every of our tablets has 3 levels of parental control. You mentioned screen time. So before we give you our tablet, we'll ensure that we set up the parental control for you ourselves. For instance, if your child is using a ULSN tablet now, if for any reason they bypassed and got the internet, if they want to download any single app, you will be notified. Until you approve that download, that process cannot continue. So the child is not able to access any other thing apart from the learning content you have on the app. So that's the balance for us. But we don't want to completely say don't give it to them, because the competition now is not between them and the child in the next school. It's between them and that child in Korea that is of their same age, that's already producing some of these devices we're talking about. Thank you.
All right. Who was number 3? Yeah, that was you. I remember. My memory is sharp.
It's not as sharp as this. I have to write my question down. All right. Thank you so much. Like I mentioned earlier on, this is very impactful. And I think we should have this kind of conversation more often. But there are some questions I would like to ask. One of my questions is actually what we've just addressed now. Because when we talk about using these gadgets for everything that has a positive side, there's something that somebody can, go through on the negative spectrum too. So with this explanation, I believe you understand, okay, there should be control and all that. But still, I hope you lesson will still continue to have this conversation because we are still mile away from getting to the main point. Because I don't want a situation where a child, you will collect the tab from them and they will jump up and hit their heads on the floor and, start throwing this tantrum and all. I've seen a lot of disturbing videos on this kind of things. So I love the fact that she raised, that means all of us are thinking the same way. And I love the response that was given to. So my next question, however, is, let's assume we discuss what the schools are selling and all that. So let's assume a school is about to sell this technology element as their unique selling point. And fortunately, or maybe unfortunately for the school is besieged with 70% of staff that could not use Microsoft Word. This is, if you're a school owner, this is true. So how do you advise such a school to progress? And again, what can ULesson do for our teachers? Can we take this to the classroom? Because it's easy to say we have this gadget, we have this. How would these teachers be able to use it effectively if we still have some of them that cannot use Microsoft Word? So that is my question. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Let me provide a bit of clarity. So let me say first and foremost that, of course, I've worked with a school one time where we came in for a consulting intervention to get technology on board. And at that time, when we were doing this work, products like ULesson wasn't really in vogue. And I'm going to explain why this is important anyway, as I provide perspective. So when we got in, the teachers had to first use their scheme of work to develop text content for the lesson. Their lesson notes carries the content that will be delivered. Are we together? So that text lesson, they now needed to convert it to a PowerPoint slide and then use that PowerPoint slide to record videos that would now be uploaded on a SMS platform that they were using. You see that process I just mentioned now? That's a lot of work. Sometimes for teachers, it's not because this conversation is this something they want to learn or want to do, or something they can do? Because really, these people are already overwhelmed with their writing plans, writing notes, setting assessments, marking scripts, interpreting data. They are caught in the web of a lot. And you meet a teacher that has done this for 10 years, 15 years. Really, there's no excuse actually, but I mean, I feel for them sometimes. Now, if you're a school that wants to take this thing to the next level, like that school, what we did is, we now, for these teachers who were not able to, because now where technology has advanced to is that if you can read and write and your brain is working, because that's what I used to tell my wife, my friends, everybody. AI and a lot of the advancement that have happened now is transforming. Before now, have you used ChatGPT Premium before? You tell that thing, it will develop an Excel sheet with coding. That's how they code on Excel now. That's it, to develop it, and all you have to do is just download. So even the basic knowledge of, like, you really don't And I say this very carefully, but you really don't know how to use, you really do not need to know how to use Excel to be able to use Excel-based solutions. Considering what technology is doing now, once you can read and write, you know how to talk to technology. Technology knows how to talk to you. You'll be able to, because imagine this board now, it will be loaded with already made videos. That process I was getting those teachers to do, get the text, convert it first to slides, convert to slide, record on top, record before they upload, has already been done. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. The second thing, of course, the school have to upskill. If you don't have the luxury of replacing all your staff, which most schools don't have, what you now need to do is to shed off the people who do not want to engage in a learning curve. So what do? You can engage with people to come on board. The staff have to sacrifice extra time, because that's what I did for the teachers who did not know how to use those platforms. We now said, okay, we engage with an ICT company who came on board to train them on their own. So the school pays for the training and now takes the money for that training in bits from the teacher. Before the training tenure is over, the school has collected their money back, because that skill is for you for life. If the school is now buoyant enough to now say we are going to sponsor 10 of you, it's just to now create a time, because I always say that upscaling is cheaper than replacing. Because you will lose a lot when you try to replace outrightly. Relationships, connectivity, there's a lot that would be missing there. So when you are now upscaling, you will now find people who do not want to learn. They naturally want to bring your business down. Bring them down. People like that, they don't want to learn. So they want to bring down your business. Do what? Bring them down. So once you put an intervention program that allows the staff to upscale, the people who refuse to now jump on that trend, you now know that they are not for you. You send them to Ajaokuta Steel Mill to go and work. So, Mr. Godwin.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stop disrespecting Ajaokuta Steel. It's about to come up again. All right, just to add quickly, I know we spent a long time on this. To add to what my colleague Elo had said, we're dealing with local governments. One package is called the Smart School. And part of that Smart School is deliberate teacher training. Okay, there's a package for teacher training. And that is why when we deliver our solutions to you, we take time to engage your teachers, right? So that's our path. It's deliberate. Of course, teachers will not automatically start using this thing. We'll onboard the process for it. That's for us. But for internally, I think this is what you can do. And that's what I tell people when I go out to schools. The first thing is to state the obvious to these teachers. And the obvious is this. Even if, as we are today, we can say here, despite the advancements of technology, right? It cannot replace teachers. That's one fear they have. We need to let them know that. And I explain to you why. The emotional connection that teachers have to students, it doesn't apply to technology. This fear came when we had this autopilot coming in. People said autopilot replace V-pilots. But today we still have autopilots. We still have V-pilots, so the demand for it. But what you need to tell them, and what is true, is that even though technology cannot replace teachers, teachers that use technology will replace teachers that don't. It's already happening. So if, as a tutor, what I'm bringing to you is to help you, because beyond them teaching and helping your work, you're developing their capacity. They will leave your school tomorrow, but the skills they've learned and earned is for them to earn. So very soon, if teachers are not able to move to that curve, that part of transition where they are expected to be, then you should not have them. They themselves will naturally know that they can fit in. Society we're going to now, if you don't know how to use technology to teach, even the kids that are listening to you will be looking at you because they have gone far ahead. I think if we emphasize this too for them, people will naturally want to, go into learning these things from steps. especially when they don't see that something you are using to develop your school alone. People are selfish. When they know this thing is also for them, they're able to adopt. But in summary, what we've done is that if you come with what we have, we don't just leave you to struggle all of this yourself. Inside our package is that there's always a time to develop and train your teachers on how to use it. This is a good time to call hello, right? Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so one more question and we're on to the next segment. Oh my God, I'm seeing two hands. But, okay, so briefly, what God did and what you did.
All right, thank you very much for the training. It's quite insightful. I have a certain passion with the way you are delivering the training. I hope this can happen a bit more often because a lot of teachers need to hear this. And, you know, during the training, I was sitting down and my mind was just going through like the time I went to school and now, and there's a certain disparity. And there's has to be intentionality to fill that gap, because like when I was in school, I know that to come and see Paul like this in your class, no, really. Yeah, in uni you see, but like primary, secondary school back then, it wasn't the way it is now, and we're thankful. But we have to be very intentional with how this can come up more often. So yeah, that's how I do this.
You know what? Let's just compound the question.
Okay. My question is, in my school, we run ACE method. So my question is this applicable to ACE system? Then if it is applicable, how do we get it?
ACE method. What is
Christian curriculum.
Alpha Christian? ACE method, Alpha Christian curriculum. Yeah. Okay.
If 0 to 5 use it, then you know whatever system you use can be, because this thing has its own space, can be uploaded. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
And I also think that it's not compulsory that because in Port Harcourt as well, some people talked about the type of curriculum, this and that was used to draft the modules of the lesson that are being taught and whatnot, you know. But like my answer would be that the devices that are being sold here are adaptable to any kind of system that your school uses, right? During the onboarding process, I'm sure that the company would now, tailor it to fit into whatever it is that your school runs on. Do you get what I mean? So, thank you so much. And
All right, thank you so much. Put your hands together. Thank you for staying to answer this question. We're moving on to the next thing on our agenda, and time has been fast spent. But you know, they say time flies when you're enjoying yourself. So I believe none of this time was wasted. They've been spent properly. All right. So the next thing on the agenda is I'm going to invite Eloho back on stage. Eloho is the Vice President of Content and Curriculum Development. We're basically in her house. So put your hands together for Eloho. She's going to speak about our content generation process and walk through the class board as well.
Just good. All right, thanks everyone. How many people, before I start, how many people were here during our launch event? Okay. Oh, wow. All right, so we have new faces. Once again, welcome and thank you for making our time to come for this event. So I'm just going to talk to you about the class board and what makes this product unique. What have we done to this board that we feel is going to be beneficial to you in the classroom? So I think at the opening speech, my colleague Bukayo, she talked about where your lesson started from the dongle and how we got here. Trust me, in the past 5 years, we have done a lot So how did we even decide to create a class board? So ULSN started off as a software product. So you could, what's the word, download it on your phone. We used the dongles. And basically we started during the COVID period. So it kicked off, right? We would just ship dongles to parents with preloaded content, and it worked for a while. And then after that, we went fully software, just online. We stopped selling dongles. But then again, we moved past that, and then we started producing devices. But in all of this, everything we had created was learner focused. It was catering to the kids, but we always had concerns from teachers in our conversations, because I'm sure a lot of that some people here, at least some faces I know, we've interacted with you on different levels outside of just even events. So when we go to schools, we talk to teachers, school owners, there's always this concern like, oh, okay, how do we deploy this at a larger scale? Like, it's one thing to buy 10 devices, but how sustainable is it to be buying devices for all students in the classroom? So we listened to the voice of the teachers, and we decided to launch the ULSN class board. So this particular class, this particular device is, would I say, teacher focused, unlike the devices and just the app. So what we did, we preloaded the board with the ULSN content. So those videos that we have on the devices, everything we have loaded on the board. And the interesting thing we did, we made most of this content offline. So once you have it set up, you can watch your videos in your classroom without using the internet. But most important, we created something called the Teacher's Guide and Learning Resources, which is what I'll mostly talk to you about today. I'm going to try and launch this app. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. So as a first-time buyer, once you open, load the app, you have your login detail page, you log in. But once you're fully set up, this is how the app shows to you, the teacher. And the boards have been designed in such a way, just the same way we sell our devices. You have the board focused for SS, we have for junior secondary school, and then we have for the primary school. So if you're getting a primary school board, you're getting primary 1 to 6. If you're getting for junior secondary, JS 1 to 3, and if it's for senior secondary, you have SS 1 to 3. So as you can see, this is a primary board. It contains videos of all the 9 subjects that we have. So we have 5 in the sciences and 4 for the commercial students. So what's the interesting thing, as I mentioned? So if you click on a video, sorry, let me go back to biology. Yeah. So all of our content is designed in chapters. So this is the first chapter, as we can see here, recognizing living things. If you open a chapter, you have quests. So the quests are these individual videos that we can see. But where I'm coming to is what I want you to see is this learning resources that we have included. You would not find this on the Learner Focused app because, as we said, we designed this specifically for teachers. So when we created this, what we did, we created a teacher's guide. And as the name implies, it's a guide. Because every time we've spoken to teachers or school owners, they're like, okay, won't this now make our teachers lazy? No. The guide is supposed to serve, as the name implies, a guide to prepare you for the lesson. So I'm going to show you what the guide looks like. In the teacher's guide, we've broken it down into, you see the learning plans, we have homeworks, we have the answers to this homework. I'll show you that, but let me just speak about the learning resources. So in each video, you have a learning resource. Let me just click on this. This is how it opens up on your board, full screen, fully immersive. Sorry, where's the pen for this board? Each board comes with a pen. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Yeah. So you have this in each lesson. So each lesson, I think, comes, a lesson is a video. Each video comes with our 3 to 5 of this learning resource. And it just basically is a diagram. So what that does for you as a teacher is there's no need to be drawing on your classboard anymore because we've already put these high definition images for you. And aside this, there's the classroom activity. So for each image you have the classroom activity. So after you finish teaching, you could call the students up, and just for retention, memory, were they even paying attention, and then they could label this. Now the board has the ability for you to write on it. So once you select your pen, yeah, let's see, select a fine color. Yeah, or let's use black just so that it's more visible to everyone. You could write, so that's my name right there. So again, it's, sorry, because you've already taught earlier, remember, they've looked at the bacterial cell with all the labelings. Again, you could just easily call the children up to come and, what's the word? For retention, to see if they actually got this. So I'm just going to move on now to the teacher's guide, which I think is the most interesting part of this product that we have created. Sorry, just a moment. All right, so senior, let me open this. Okay, so this is what a typical teacher's guide looks like. But this teacher's guide, I have to add, before we even go deeper into this, it's not hosted on this board. We have a portal, a website, the teacher's dashboard, where you go and you access it. So for senior secondary school, we have about 7,000 videos. So we have created teacher's guide for all of this. So just imagine how many of these PDFs that we have up there. So again, this is a guide for senior secondary school physics, I think physics grade 12, which is SS3. This is just contact details, introduction, and then we go here. And then you have curriculum topics. This curriculum topics is inexhaustive. It just shows you how much topics like we have covered. Again, so on this particular PDF, 39 lessons. By the next PDF, because there are a lot of them, the number continues from 39 to the next number and so on and so forth. So this particular one, each PDF covers a topic. So we have electromagnetic waves here. And then you scroll. Under electromagnetic waves, we have these two lessons here, application of electromagnetic waves, wavelength of an electromagnetic wave. And then, yeah, this is the beginning. So as I said, every teacher's guide has a lesson objective, lesson plan. There's the option to watch the video if you want, post viewing activities. So after you've watched this video, what next? You can discuss it in class. Homework assignment. We have real world applications, which is an interesting part. So after you've learned or taught in class, it's not just abstract. You want them to be able to see, okay, electromagnetic waves in real life, how do we apply these things? We can see radio waves in communication. And let's just run through the microwave applications, use of infrared electronics. What's the last one? Sterilizing with ultraviolet lights. And after this, we also have the option student projects. So you finish teaching, you could give them a project to go home or even just divide the class in that moment. If it's something they could do on the spot, they could do it also there and there. And then we have homework. So this homework, again, the teacher might decide to give it as maybe after school activity or even do it in class there. Again, it's left to you. As the name implies, it's a guide, because as I said, I'm just stressing this because we've had comments of people saying, oh, so are you trying to say the teachers would not do any work anymore? No, we're just saying this is a guide. We're trying to take the stress off teachers actually. And if this helps you, then I think it's a win for us. So also we've added the answers to those homework, which is why I said it could be a classroom activity, depending on how you choose to use it. So if you've given the children those questions to do, you could also just come at the end of the session and you all go through the answers here. Now, an interesting thing you can see here is a timestamp. As I mentioned, every teacher's guide is tied to a lesson that we have on the app. So we want this to be as fully immersive as possible. So let's say you are using this to prepare for a physics class. You come in the morning, you decide to watch your video first. That's fine. What this timestamp is showing you is that if you watch the video at this timestamp, you will see this exact answer. So even if you do not want to give them the answers directly, you could refer back to the video, watch it, and then they will be able to just deduce the answers for themselves. So what we've done is to make this as engaging and interactive as possible. So again, this is the next lesson that we saw at the beginning. So this is what we've done for all the lessons that we have on the ULesson app. Currently, we have this for senior secondary school available, but currently in production for junior and primary. I think, Godwin, can we even announce when they should start expecting? Yes, so from I think third week of this month, the junior secondary school teachers resource and teachers guide will be available for access by schools and teachers. Thank you. So I think because of time, I don't know if I should still speak more on this, but basically this is what we have installed on the board. So you're not just getting a board. You could easily go and buy an Android TV everywhere, but does it have curriculum relevant content on it? It doesn't. What ULesson has done, and for a good market price, is to install all of the videos for you. And as we said, it's offline, so you're not struggling with internet in your classroom. Once you get this, for people who have gotten in their classroom, the sales team comes, they set it up, and you're good to go. You have access to your teacher's guide. This you can download on your phone. So it's not just on the web. You can use it on your phone, on your computer. Sorry. Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was forgetting an important part of this board. Okay, so I talked about how we have images on the board already so that you do not have to draw. But another important feature is also the whiteboard. So, oh, it's interesting that it opened up this way. So this is a graph sheet. So it's just not a whiteboard. You can do so many things with it. I'm going to, let me exit this particular one. Oh. Sorry. I want to. Is my board not working? Yeah, but it's not going. Oh, oh yes. Plain white. Yeah. All right. So by default, this is how it opens up. Yeah, someone have switched to the graph sheet. And again, with the pen, you can write, you can make notes, whatever it is that you want to do, really. So this pen has interesting features. You could, have like your regular pen. So I write my name. And you could also have the pen that changes to text. Okay, this is it. But you could also switch back, save. Let me change my color. Yeah. So the same writing on the board, it could switch to text, depends on how you want it, or you could leave it this way. Another interesting thing, okay, clearly there's the eraser. You could clean all at once, or let me write again, just scribble, scribble. You could clean in bits, say you don't want to clean everything on the board. Yeah, you could do that. But I think my most interesting feature about the board is the shapes, because I cannot draw to save my life. So once you select a shape, you can just draw that. So many different types of shapes. Whatever it is you want to do, it's there for you. Let's see what else is interesting here. So it has a lot that you do not have to stress yourself really going to look for where will I start drawing for, or where will I start drawing from. Also, with this, using this whiteboard, again, if you want to add a table, you're not drawing. Sorry, I'm putting everything on the same page. Let me just even clean this. So yeah. If you want to do a table, sorry, it's right there for you. You could write your name, so say serial number, name, whatever it is you want to do, really, trust me, this whiteboard already has it. Again, from here, you could also go to the web. So say you're teaching and you guys want to quickly reference something on the internet. Again, as a teacher, I believe you would have logged in with your school credentials. You can easily visit the web, do whatever it is. Again, we have our ruler, straight lines. You don't have to stress yourself, sorry. Let me pick my pen color, black. Yeah. Ugh. Why is it not drying? Yeah. Sorry. Yep. So I could draw and just do whatever it is I want. I think it also has, what's that? Sorry, for this, I'm going to clear the board so that we can see how it properly works. Yep. So you can see, without stressing yourself, a perfect circle. So there are so many tools on this classboard for you to use. I think another interesting feature I want to make obvious is, so you've done a lot of teaching in a day, and maybe the class, you have the continuation the next day. You don't want to save what you've done. You could easily come here and save. So save, it gives you the option to name your file. So let me say physics lesson 1, you save it, and then it saves to the board. Also, this board has like ports, so USB. I think there's been concerns also, oh, can I use, must it be just you lesson content? No, as we said, first of all, there's the internet, so the web. If you want to log in, access YouTube, whatever, you have the option. And you also have the option to plug in your device. So a USB, HDMI, this one, I call it Michael Sports because I know it has something to do with sound. Where's Michael? Yeah. So like if you want to connect a speaker, so it's like a loudspeaker so that it's louder, clearly you can do all of that with this board. And please forgive us, I forgot there's a remote for this board. Where's the remote? Somewhere. But yeah, there's a remote for the board, and it also comes with this stylus pen. But the interesting thing about the stylus is that if really you don't even want to use the stylus, you can use your hand. It's the same thing. And really, I think we tried it. The pen that comes with your regular Samsung phones also, it works on the board. So yeah, I think, yeah, Godwin can come up at this point. All right, yeah. Okay. Okay.
People on the internet. Thank you for the presentation. In fact, I'm wowed. Even though that we have one already in my school, but not this U lesson. We have a smart board. But me coming here, when this one was launched, I was not properly invited anyway. So, but my colleague here was here, but my principal asked me to come today. So, and I'm here. So in fact, the Bluetooth, the speaker part of it, is it Bluetooth enabled, or we are going to use a cable for it? Okay. Secondly, the smart board, you need an internet. Does it go offline also? I mean, connecting to the web, online. Okay. So, in fact, Mr. Godwin, you have won our hearts again. So I would possibly advise principal to at least get as many as possible of this for at least for our physics lab and our math lab. Seeing these math features, in fact, that is what wowed me mostly, because our math teachers, they are still using traditional means of drawing all these shapes. You know, you have to go and buy, but it's already embedded on the smart board. God's willing, God will help us. Finally, before I leave, I need to see my subjects on this. I teach computer studies and data processing. So you lesson, you have more work to do. So thank you for the opportunity.
So I think we'll just go straight into the Q&A. All right. So if you have more questions, this is the time to ask.
Yes, I was up earlier. Thank you, Lesson. I'm more than wild. But I want to know, since the board has pots, is this capable of being infested with virus? Okay.
Yes. Androids don't get virus infested. It's Windows that do, right? Yeah. So it's Android based. Yeah, just plug any flash into it. Okay. Please, this is the time to ask all the questions you have.
Good morning, all. My name is Olaiwa Jushion from Anglican Girls Grammar School. This is not a paid advert, but want to say that a partnership with you lesson has been awesome. This chessboard is deployed in our school, and students are learning much more better than before. And so this is us saying that as many schools that are interested, I think they should take advantage of this. I pray God will help us in Jesus' name. But you have to pay us for helping you.
You just said it's not a paid advert, my boss. Your reward is in your school.
Good afternoon. My name is Ndidi. I'm from Seed of Glory. I just have a question. The teacher's guide and the learning resource is installed in this particular board. What? Yes. Okay. Okay. What if the school already has a smart board? Can the school access this teacher's guide and the learning resource?
For schools that already have a board, you could buy the software itself and install on your board. Yes. Yes. So the way I opened the app from the board. That was the first thing I did. So once you have it installed on your board, it opens up the same way. Yeah, that's the app. Just the way you see the icon of whatever you download on your phone, you see this on your board also. No, anybody that wants to buy, really. We've had interesting conversations, trust me, different sets of people just coming to ask for the board. So whoever, just like Mr. Peter said, if he wants to start his homeschool, for example, I'm sure he'll be getting this board for a start. All right, man, please.
Or, all right, I'll echo you. Talk to me. Okay. Is there anything we can do for you, Ekano? So for the people on the internet, they're asking for a wolf. But no. So let me talk to the sales manager, talk to my guy. Is there anything you can do for the people that are physically, not for people online, by the way, for the people that are physically here? All right, God, talk to us. They insist.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll just, first of all, try and summarize the value so you can see what we're giving you. And then you cannot see how generous we've been before now. All right, in summary, thank you, Elo, my VP. Let's celebrate Elo. She did the wonderful job. Thank you. So what we're saying is that what others call interactive board would just be the smart TV. But this is the first interactive board that is built by an education technology company. So that's why this is different. We didn't just give you a hardware. We ensure that as you take it to the classroom, you can start teaching with it. So in summary, what we did here is that we built 3 software in this hardware. The first software we did that we've been building for as far back as 2020 was this ULesson Classboard app that has videos, across these 9 subjects in the senior secondary, 5 in junior secondary, and 3 in primary. So in all, what we've done is that we've built thousands of video according to the NERODC curriculum in line with the Cambridge framework, such that whether you're using British curriculum, Nigerian curriculum is relevant to you. We built that video content across all of the subjects, totaling 17. That's the first thing we've done, and that's what only ULesson has done. Like no other company has that. That's one. Secondly, thank you very much. Secondly, we didn't stop there. We went to also produce stimulating visuals. It's not enough to have students watch video. We try to summarize your learning in high definition images. So kids are able to picture a summary of everything you've been teaching them, right? And these images are what we call the teacher's resource, right? And for every of the subject here, we've built tons of that. Again, this is only found in the ULesson Classboard. Then the third software is the teacher's guide she just took you, through, where for every lesson, one of the challenges that we keep seeing, I will keep hearing because we take feedback a lot from school owners, is that teachers find it difficult to sit down and develop lesson plan, lesson note. It's one of the doubting tasks you always do. And we'll notice that they spend so much time on that without actually engaging the kids directly. They spend so much time on paperwork and then leave that social interaction, that connection in classroom. We've taken away that burden. That's it. What we've done is that for every of the subjects, we'll produce a guide. A teacher will just have to go through it. Teacher comes to the class prepared for teaching. That's a lot of work because what that's done for you, it makes that every teacher that's coming to the class is not coming thinking what they will teach, trying to begin to plan. They've already planned how to go about taking the topic, what to show first, what to add as teaching results is all embedded in that PDF that my colleague showed you. And again, that is available for free. You're not paying for it. We're sure you have that. So that's the software we've built. So we'll have a hardware and then we'll software. Now, if you have a smart board already, right? Maybe you didn't, we're not patient for ULesson to launch. You went and buy something else, right? What we can say is that we can also give you access to this software. We're not locking you out. So if you have an interactive board, as long as the board is interactive, we're able to give you this teacher's guide, this learning resource, and have our videos, the ULesson Classboard app video, and we install it on your interactive board. All right. And then aside all of this, we're saying we don't just want to give you the board, we're able to also give you where to keep it. So every of this board comes with a stand, whether you want it like this or you want it put mounted on the wall. Again, if you go out and check with others, you will be paying a minimum of $350 for the stand. ULesson is saying, as long as you pick this, you will get the stand for free. Another thing we also are giving you is that once you see this as a value and you say, let's go and deploy in your school, no matter where that school is in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we will deliver it for you for free. Oh, they don't want it. Nobody's talking. You should take that out for free. And this is very key because transporting a very fragile, not fragile in terms of durability, but of course, the fact that you're taking something like this that is susceptible to blockage, moving it from one city to another, the minimum of that cost will be at least 500 to 600,000 naira. ULesson is saying, if you pay, we'll deliver it for you for free. We didn't stop there. Now, once it's delivered to your school, the next thing we'll do is that we can't just leave it to you. We will install it again for free. You don't need to look for how to set it up. And then we will now onboard every one of your teachers how to use all of this. See my colleague Ella going through that. When we bring it to your school, we will show you how to use the whiteboard, show you how to access the U-Lesson videos, show you how to access the teacher's guide, and how you can also use your own content. So it's not about U-Lesson. Let's say you say, okay, I love your content, but I have my own content. How do I screencast? You can literally use your laptop sitting at that seat and project a content on this board. A lesson is going on. You can share between 3 to 5 screen and laptop what you're projecting here. You are also able to use Bluetooth. If you saw a content, very interactive content on your phone, you want to display it here as a tutor, you're able to do that. So it allows for file sharing, whether that file sharing is through the use of Flash, whether it's the use of HDMI, whether it's the use of your Bluetooth, whatever, this device is built for that. And I must tell you something about this again before I round up. This screen is double-hardened. Now, what that means is that because we need to be using the classroom setting, we ensure that it's solid enough. Kids can be very playful in the classroom. They could be throwing things. You are guaranteed that as long as it's not a deliberate breakage, this thing is able to stand the test of those, kids' activity in the classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, with all this, my very few points, how much do you think we should be selling this beautiful device? 5 million. Exactly. Please note it down. Who else? No, if you can check, you have smartphone now. Just check the price for a 65-inch interactive board. You can check it now. The minimum you will see is about 3.2, 3.4 million naira. Check it now. Let's verify. This is not adding the stand. This is not adding the delivery. This is not adding the onboarding. So is 3 million a good price to pay for this? Is it a good price to pay for this? Okay, because you are here already, right? This is what we're doing. You're not buying this thing for 3 million naira. You're not buying it for 2.5 million naira. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not even buying for 2 million naira. Now, it's important you understand the value, right? So what we're doing, because again, for us at U-Lesson, it's not so much, to be honest, not so much about the profit. When Peter said what you're selling, if you ask me what is U-Lesson selling, it's just in line with our mission statement. That's why we're doing all of this. Our goal, what we're selling, is to what? Prepare people for opportunity and eventually improve society through education. That's what we're doing. Now, if that means us getting all of this, find a way, the minimum value that is needed to put this in classrooms so that learners are well prepared for opportunity, so that eventually society is better because somebody's learning the way they should learn. Somebody is globally competitive will do it. So for everyone that is in this meeting, online and offline, what U-Lesson is saying is that for this board, which is valid between now and the end of the month, is that you get the board, the stand, free software, the onboarding process, the free delivery, and subsequent free workshops like this for just 1,850,000 naira. That's what we're doing. And it's deliberate, 1,850,000. I can assure you that, to be honest, if you delay this decision for another 2 weeks, you might not see the board on ground, because we have about 140 we brought when we launched. I can tell you that more than 70% of that board has gone even 10 is leaving our warehouse today or tomorrow. But we want to deliberately ensure that you will have access to this and able to use it. So for those of us that are interested, we will deliver to you. Like I said, we will onboard for free. We'll ensure that you use it. This is a good time to get your teachers to begin to get acquainted to this, right? And ensure that you're able to do it. The next thing is that what if I have just 1 million naira now? Can I take this board and pay you the next first week of September? For the first 10 people that will do that, we only have that offer for first 10 people. David, Bukayo, and Obi, please take the commitment sheets. For people that say, I have just 1 million naira, can I get the board and balance to September? We have chances to do that for 10 people who will show that interest. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the ULSing class board. My name is Godwin, your chief servant, and I'm willing to come to your school to deliver this beauty and make learning different for our learners. There's a question? Okay, good time to ask question, please.
Questions? Sorry, whose hand was up for a question? Okay, great.
Thank you. The whole process was also amazing and really, really educative. And I would say I was wowed because I've gone through ULSing app like 2 years back. And the development is very, very amazing. But then I still want to ask, is the last time I tried installing your software, the system specifications were quite high. So how friendly and how adaptive? Yeah, it was quite, the specifications were quite high. So I don't know, how friendly is it right now?
We have a laptop.
What's the operating system? Okay. No, it should. It should. There's something else that happened. Our software is installable as long as you use Windows 7 and above. Is it less than 7 and above? It's above. Then you check your space. Now, it shouldn't be a problem. It's always been accessible. My colleague here, Regina Patches, all 3 of your students have our software. Yes, they're able to use it on their laptop. So that's the ULSing software. This is the ULSing class board. So those are all the 2 different products we're selling. So things like that, you could just bring your laptop. We're able to check it. Is it laptop or tablets that we talked about? Laptop, okay. They just reminded me again. I thought it was tablets in my head. So our app is available on the web. You don't even have to download on the laptop. If you have a browser, just go to app www.ulesson.com. Thank you. This is the ULSing. Okay. Okay, question please.
Question?
A request, okay.
All right, speak, I'll echo you.
Please, you listen. You know, most of us here, this time to do, we are servants.
Okay.
Say to come and hear this out and give feedback. So I'm appealing for a kind of window period so that we can
Convince.
give feedback on whatever we have received here, both in writing and in video to our heads.
Okay.
Considering that 1 million stuff.
Okay.
So that we can see how many we can get as soon as possible.
Okay, so he's asking for a larger window.
Take it case by case. So maybe after we'll discuss
So
what
yeah.
you're looking at, and we can handle that. So case by case, yeah.
All right, so it will be on a specific case basis. All right, for those on the internet that have similar concerns, if you need more time, you can speak to the sales representatives directly, and then you can have a condition that is tailored to your specific needs. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so.
Oh no. So what you mean upgrade? If there's any improvement we're doing, will you have access to it? Oh yes, instantly. And that's one of the reasons why this ULESIN class board is also, we have an online and offline version, right? We downloaded some videos you can access offline, but we also ensure that you go online. The reason why we do that is that when there's updates, you automatically get it. You just heard from the VP Media that soon the uploads for primary and junior secondary teachers guide will be on board. You don't have to pay again once you paid for it. Whenever there are updates, you get them instantly during the year your subscription is active. Yeah. Oh, we have for primary, we have for nursery, for junior secondary, but the teacher's guide, the ULESIN class board app, which have the video contents and the teaching resource available across primary 1 to SS3. But the teacher's guide that will guide the teacher on how to teach, right? It's presently available for senior secondary, and on the 11th, what date was that? 19th, you will have the junior secondary and the primary. So in summary, everything you need from primary 1 to SS3 is available on our platform by August.
Yeah, thank you, ULESIN. I've been an advocate of integrating technology with education. That was one of the reasons that convinced me to talk to my then principal about this ULESIN stuff during the days of Dongo, and now we are with the class boards. But I don't think I heard you talk about whether the 1.85 million is a one-off payment, or just as the case is with your tabs. I'm sure when you purchase the tab, after a year, you need to renew your subscription, right? Is that the same with your class board? If yes, how much? So that we can also have that at the back of our minds. Thank you.
Thank you, good question. So for the first year, you get the class board, the ULESIN class board. It comes with automatically free 1-year subscription to access the video, right? So those video will see, this is the ULESIN class board app, right? Remember, it's the ULESIN, so it doesn't affect your board. Your board is your board, right? If you want to enjoy this video, after 1 year, we expect you to subscribe for access to the ULESIN class board app. And that amount presently is 150,000 naira to access the software if you need to renew. But again, it's the ULESIN class board app. So you still have access to your whiteboard, have access to other features on the class board. The renewal is 150,000 naira to engage with the videos, the teaching resource. But of course, the teacher's guide will be available for you for free. Does that answer the question? Oh no, we have primary board, junior secondary board, and senior secondary board. So if you buy this board, say you have for junior secondary, right? You've bought this board for junior secondary. If you need to access the junior secondary content, after 1 year, you renew it separately from the senior secondary content. Yeah, that's how it works. So each board was designed according to the class library. So for this now, a senior secondary board, it has the entire senior secondary content, the 9 subjects for that class category. So just as we did for our tablet, we also did the same thing for our class board. And that for 2 reasons. The first is that you also have enough space for your own content, right? So as you put this content here, decrypt a couple of them to be available offline. If you have your own content, you are able to have enough space on the board to put that content. So whatever that content is, you are able to access it on your board. Like the MC has announced, I will available after now across my team members are available. If you have any specific questions on how to tailor it to your school, how to deploy it, any questions or concerns, we're able to address that. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Huh? No, we still have tablets. There are still tablets, of course. All right, so this is the point where giving you guys a little time to have your refreshments, network, talk to sales reps on specific case. So now you can speak to Mr. Godwin personally, you can speak to Buki, you can speak to everybody in a white class board shirt, right? There's also a board in the boardroom, and this one as well, that you can actually go and interact with yourself. So we don't want you to just take our word for it. You want you to actually see it happen in real time. So there's a board in there that you can use the whiteboard and use and test that feature. There'll be a sales rep in there as well. So this is a freestyle 15 minutes in this moment. What do you say? Yes, for closing remarks. And if you want to go, you can go. All right, that's okay. That's okay. So yes, interact, network, and refresh. Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Yeah, so I just wanted to make an announcement. Sorry. So we are working on a project at the U-Lesson team. We are working on an industry report where we are putting together a report on the state of education technology in Africa. And we are looking to partner with school owners and educators like you. So I sent an email to some of you. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm still going to send another email with our proposal. We'd just like to get your input, get some information from you as an educator to help us with our report. And then when the report is ready, you will put your name and the name of your school as a contributor on the report. Yes, I'm Aaron. Yes, yes. So I'll still send another email with the proposal. I'll send another email and I'll also send you messages on WhatsApp with the proposal so that we can work together on the report. Yeah, thank you so much. One last thing. Yeah, when you do photo, we close it. And send everybody home.
All right, thank you very much. While we're enjoying our meal, I want to really, on behalf of ULSN, I want to thank you for coming. And remember, we are partners in this to ensure that our kids are better. One more thing, please. Can we come for a group photograph? Let's take a group photograph while you're eating. Don't worry, you can keep your food. Technology will not disappear the food. Just cover it. Let's take a group photograph, something you can take back to your school and tell them you're a part of this transformational workshop. Mr. Peter, please, can you please come for a group photograph? Thank you. So Maggie, you tell us how to stand. Maggie, is this the best place to stay? We should use somewhere else, right? Okay. Yeah. Since there's lack of space here, please let's follow our director of photography, the world's best photography we have in the continent. What are we using? We use here, right? Okay, yeah. Hello, let's go. Yes, back there. Thank you. Stop. Oh, this way. Okay. Okay. We still got some people. Okay. We just give like a curve. Okay. Mr. Peter, please come. Hello. Mr. Peter, please come. Everybody say cheese. Is there one more? Right. Give me a time. The bike one minute. No, to go down. Don't look at that. One bike. Enjoy it.
Yes, very well.
Yeah, give it to me. So as a nice to have, if you came in groups of a particular school, we would like to take pictures with each school. In case you didn't get that, I said, all right, no. If you came in groups of like in teams of your school, would like to take group pictures with just your school. If you're still around, are you guys together? So Maggie get together. All right. So you follow her. She's the one in charge of this. So in groups of your school, right? You're representing your school. If you're together as teams. Someone wanted your number. I didn't give them. One of those ladies. Oh, so that's asking me to go around school. So I was looking for it. I think that was the child got this number. So I was like, I think everything you need. No problem. They don't play with me like that. Don't play with me like that. I've been giving you side eyes. I'll be trying the right now. Okay. I supposed to tell you that I scrolled through the conversation. I saw my name there. I don't look at it. Let's go to heavy block. It's sad how like that's rejection for every Nigerian because everything you do in Nigeria you end up in different pockets. Like because people get poor every you don't get good of place pockets, you might not stay. Even instance and then every purpose the end goal. The federal government is once sad. Even in every industry, like every musician wants to be at this state houses, state organized events. Every eatery wants to cater to. It's sad. I mean, it's really sad. On the next sheet. Let me show you. Sorry.
Thank you everybody for coming. If you like to, but you're always welcome to thank you. For all those folks. For this one,